Shalom, 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 shalom. My name is YAH with Savior Word of Yah, Tabernacles of the Congregation of Israel, ATL. Welcome to our weekly Bible study. Before we get started, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can go to our website at saviorwordofyah.org. You can email us directly at saviorwordatl@gmail.com. And if you'd like to get with us, definitely reach out. We have a lot of different services that we offer. We offer immersions. We do baptisms. We do have 2 ordained ministers for weddings. We offer counseling, and we also help with relocation services for people that are trying to repatriate and go back to the land. As well as tour guides. We do have tour guides that can take you into the land or take you around the Middle East. So if you need any of those services, definitely reach out to us. So again, this is our weekly Bible study. The topic for today is something very, very important. Is dealing with our house. The title of the Bible study is Destroying Your House, the YAH edition. Destroying Your House, the YAH edition. So this series we're going to talk about how to preserve our house and how not to destroy our houses and the things that will destroy our individual house, which in part comes together to destroy the tribe, which destroys the nation, which destroys Yah's name with blasphemy. So we want to look over that. This week, we're going to focus on the men, the husbands, the heads of the households. What are things that you can do to preserve your house, and what are things that will destroy your house? And one thing we know for sure is Yah's word does not lie. So we want to familiarize ourselves with these things and these concepts and understanding being a head of a house, a father, or preparing to be a head of a house, a husband, or a young man. However, we need to understand these things, and we need to train up our children in these ways. So we're going to open this up in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and we're going to start this at verse 24. So let me pull up the scripts. Let's go to Matthew. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Matthew 24. Excuse me, Matthew 7. And we're going to go start this at verse 24. So the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and Matthew chapter 7 and verse 24. Verse 24, therefore, whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man. So who's speaking here? When we see this red writing, we know this is Mashiach speaking right here. So pay attention. Whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. So notice in this parable, it says, and the rain descended. It didn't say, well, if the rain descends, it will be strong. No, it said, when this rain descends, when these floods comes, when these spirits start blowing and beating upon your house, what is your foundation? Now we understand the rock. We understand who that rock is. That's his word, Yah's word, Mashiach. So we have to be founded on Yah's word, because it's going to rain on us. We're going to have tribulation. It says tribulation and anguish to those that do good and to know those that don't, because it rains on the just and the unjust, right? Rains on both of us. So we have to be firmly placed in the ground upon solid foundation, and there's no more solid foundation than this word. Verse 26, And everyone that hears these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So again, it didn't say, if it rains, it might fall. No, he's telling you it's going to come. Tribulation, testing, proving, all this is going to come. And if you're founded sometimes, you partially on rock, you got some rocks in there, but it's kind of sandy. It just takes the right situation and circumstance for your house to fall. So look at you as your house, man, head of house. So before you can even protect your house, they got to get past you. So within you, so if your own personal foundation isn't on this word, it's based on, tradition, or it's based on what your parents taught you, or it's based on what society says is right. It just takes the right rain. Just if the flood is coming, the winds are coming, and the wind is ruach, spirit. Them spirits are coming. Remember what Mashiach said, once you clean and get them spirits about you, and the house is swept and clean, 7 more spirits, even more wicked than the ones you kicked out, return. Right. They coming. So we have to have a solid foundation. And again, the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So men, in establishing our households, whether we, are a single person household, or whether, we have a wife and kids or children, or whatever the case may be, even if you're taking care of your relatives, or whatever the case may be, you have to make sure that house is built on a firm foundation. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 25. And we're going to read some stories about situations where people acted a certain way or carried on a certain way, and it affected their whole house. First Samuel chapter 25. And we're going to start this at verse 1. Shalom, brother Aaron Hicks. Good to see you, family. So here we're going to look at a brother that acted very pridefully. And pride is one thing that can really, really destroy your house, because we know before a big fall is pride. So we're going to see this brother who, for certain reasons, has issues with the house of David, and his pride would not allow him to do righteousness, and it caused him to fall. His house fell. And when your wife leaves your house and goes somewhere else, and you gone, your house fell. You out of there. So let's go to 1 Samuel 25 and verse 1. And Shemuel died, and all the Yasharalai were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And Dawid arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great. And he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. So now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. So number one, he has a wife of good understanding. So, a woman of good understanding ain't going to just, especially a beautiful wife of good understanding, she ain't just going to get with no wicked man for no reason. So maybe this man has changed over time or is unstable. And then what we also want to look at here is a little tidbit. He's from the house of Caleb. And if you look up Caleb's bloodline got a lot inheritance with Judah, but he was of Edom. So this is an Edomite bloodline right now that is with Abigail. So Edom is our enemy. So he don't like us. Verse 4. And Dawid heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And Dawid sent out 10 young men. And Dawid said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. And thus shall you say to him that lives in prosperity, peace both to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be unto all you have. And now I have heard that you have shearers. Now your shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask the young men, and they will show you. Wherefore, let the young man find favor in your eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray you, whatsoever comes to your hand unto your servants and unto your son Dawid. And when Dawid's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of Dawid, and ceased. So this is a king who's on the run right now. Well, he's not king yet, per se. He's already been anointed by Samuel, because you remember Samuel passed away. So Samuel already anointed him to be the next king. He just hasn't ascended to his throne yet. But he's on the run because Saul, is jealous of him, trying to kill him. And he's a warrior with the people from outside of Israel that were all Israel's enemies that, were on the run, bandits, murderers, killers, soldiers. And they under righteous leadership under Dawid, and he's coming humbly to you and asking you for assistance, a man who slayed Goliath. Yeah, you might want to be humble and wise in how you deal with somebody, especially somebody that YAH has anointed. Verse 10. And Nabal answered Dawid's servants and said, who is Dawid, and who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away from every man from his master. So he's talking like, yeah, I know you running from Saul. I ain't stupid. Verse 11, shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Foolish, foolish. The word tell you, be kind when you entertain strangers. You might be entertaining angels unaware. So, these is not angels at this point, but at the end of the day, you want to be kind to people. You would want somebody to be kind to you. You want to build your house on lack of compassion, lack of empathy, lack of brotherly love, lack of hospitality. You want to build your house on that? You want to be known as a wicked house? Verse 12. So Dawid's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings. And Dawid said unto his men, gird you every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And Dawid also girded on his sword. And there went up after Dawid about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. So he got 400 killers coming because you done pissed off the king. He upset. He came kindly to you, and you tried him like he's some errand boy. Okay. Verse 14. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, Dawid sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in the fields. They were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them, keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider, what will you do? For evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man can't even speak to him. So the servants know the whole house finna fall because he got 400 murderers, killers, soldiers that are on the run, hungry, coming to your house because you acted foolishly in pride, like you had 400 killers surrounding your house. You have shearers is what you have. They have soldiers with swords led by one of the greatest kings of all time, our forefather, Dawid. Verse 18. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs and laid them on donkeys. And she said unto her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. So she knows what time it is. So she's like, nah, let me go clean this up because this dude is a fool. And it was so. As she rode on the donkey that she came down by the covert of the hill, and behold, Dawid and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now Dawid had said, surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him. And he hath required me evil for good. So and more also do Elohim also unto the enemies of Dawid, if I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light anything that pisses against the wall. So he's basically saying, I doubt women piss against the wall. So he's talking about everything male, male horses, male cows, male servants, male anything he's killing. Verse 23. And when Abigail saw Dawid, she hasted and lighted off the donkey and fell before Dawid on her face and bowed herself to the ground and fell at his feet and said, upon me, my master, upon me, let this iniquity be. And let your handmaid, I pray you, speak in your audience and hear the words of your handmaid. Let not my master, I pray you, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal. For as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. So his name literally means folly. So be careful, how you naming your kids. The name Caleb means dog. So everybody who named their child Caleb literally named their child dog in Hebrew. So you want to look these things up, family. You don't want to put that kind of a spirit on anybody. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, your handmaid, saw not the young man of my master whom you did send. Now, therefore, my master, as Yah lives, and as your soul lives, seeing Yahweh have withholden you from coming to shed blood and from avenging yourself with your own hand, now let your enemies and they that seek evil to my master be as Nabal. And now this blessing which your handmaid have brought unto my master, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my master. So, yes, sisters, you do need to obey your husband, but you don't need to obey him to the point they get your whole house massacred because he's foolish and prideful. You don't have to operate that way. You have a right to live as well. And we're going to see an example where a sister chose not to choose life. She chose to ride along with the fool. Verse 28, I pray you forgive the trespass of your handmaid, for Yah will certainly make my master a sure house, because my master fights the battles of Yahweh, and evil have not been found in you all your days. Yet a man has risen to pursue you and to seek your soul, but the soul of my master shall be bound in the bundle of life with Yahweh, your Elohim, and the souls of your enemies, them shall he sling out as out of the middle of a sling. Then she's throwing that little parable in there, that little metaphor, because she know that Dawid, had that sling against Goliath. So she know who he is. Verse 30. And it shall come to pass when Yahweh shall have done to my master according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and shall have appointed you ruler over Yasharal, that this shall be no grief unto you, nor offense of heart unto my master, either that you have shed blood causeless, or that my master has avenged himself. But when Yahweh shall have dealt well with my master, then remember your handmaid. Now, that whole remember your handmaid, that could be taken several ways. I don't know, but he definitely remembered her. Verse 32. And Dawid said to Abigail, blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal, which sent you this day to meet me. And blessed be your advice, and blessed be you, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood and from avenging myself with my own hand. So that's another important aspect of building and protecting your house. You gotta have a queen that got wisdom. You can't have a queen that when you in a situation, she's always on the side of what the flesh say, the prideful answer, or you better let these people know who you are and all that foolishness. Nah, she got to be wise. She got to be wise, and she got to be seeking to protect her house, protect her handmaids, protect her servants, protect her husband, all that. And she got to be able to do that without calling you a fool. But if she knows she can't talk to you because you foolish, you're going to go out there and do stupidness, she going to do what she got to do to protect her life and the life of her house. She going to go around you. She ain't required to sit there and die. And Dawid recognizes the wisdom in this woman. Verse 34. For in your very deed, as Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal lives, which have kept me back from hurting you, except you had hasted and come to meet me. Surely had there not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisses against the wall. So Dawid received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, go up in peace to your house. See, I have hearkened to your voice, and have accepted your person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light. So he was so prideful and felt so good that he stuck into the house of David, that he went and had a party, had a feast, and got drunk. That's how much pride this man had. That's how much the people hate the house of David, the enemies, Esau. This is why they hate you so much. Verse 37. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. The pride that a woman saved him, that she was wiser than him, that she had to overstep his boundary just to save everybody in the house, including his own wicked life. And it killed him. He couldn't take it. Verse 39, and when Dawid heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be Yahweh, that have pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and have kept his servant from evil. For Yahweh have returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And Dawid sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. And when the servants of Dawid were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, Dawid sent us unto you to take you to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself on the face to the earth, and said, behold, let your handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my master. And Abigail hasted and arose and rode upon her donkey with 5 damsels of her that went after her. And she went after the messengers of Dawid and became his wife. So it was lawful. The husband died. He didn't take her. He could have took her, like the heathen, or just kill your husband and take her. He didn't do that. But this is how you will destroy your house if you try to run your house in pride. You the baddest on the block, or you ain't got to help nobody because you self-made, you did everything yourself. You better be compassionate. Let's move on. Let's see the opposite of that now, where the wife did not step up and speak up. This is why, you better have you a wise wife. Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5, and we're going to read 1 through 11. So again, it's very important that we focus on our households, because we Israel, we know we going back to the land, all this and that. But at the end of the day, your salvation is tied into your house, your responsibility, and your brothers. All of our houses, we're tied together. So if we have children that are unruly, or we have wives that are unruly, or we have husbands that are negligent and destroying their houses, it's gonna leak. You can't put one apple in a bunch that's rotten and think it's just gonna not destroy anything else. So let's go to Acts chapter 5. Acts chapter 5, and we're gonna read verses 1 through 11. Verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. So this is the time when the Mashiach's assembly was being persecuted. So they had to flee Jerusalem and they had to go to the wilderness. And everybody gave up everything that they had and they put it together and they divided it evenly amongst everybody. And they said, nah, we all gonna be one. And they went out there and this brother and sister here, they had money. So, they wanted to be part of the wave. They believe in the future and everything, but they wanted to hedge their bet. They didn't believe fully. Everybody else gave everything that they have. These people wanted to be a little bit above everybody. They wanted to make sure that if we lost everything, we had a little bit. Whereas everybody else in their own free will gave up everything they had. So this was not something light. Verse 3. But Kepha said, Ananias, why have Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back part of the price of the land? Whilst it remained, was it not your own? And after it's sold, was it not your own power? Why have you conceived this thing in your heart? You has not lied unto men, but unto YAH. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all them that heard these sayings. So lying, the power of the tongue, acting like you about a lifestyle that you're really not. You never know when YAH's coming to collect. Or in this situation, being greedy, not wanting to give up what you have, knowing that the price costs everything. You got to give all. That's what Mashiach requires. But now you want to keep something back. That's like holding the plow and looking back. Nah, you'll be like a pillar of salt, like Lot's wife. Now, the wife, Sapphira, she is responsible for, adhering and respecting her husband's rule in his house. His word goes, right? But not against YAH's word. And we talk about lying. Nah, no wife has to lie for you. You can't force her to lie. You can't force her to steal. She has a right to seek her father and say, I don't know about that. And if she just be quiet, that's silent consent. All right. So verse 6. And a young man arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing was done, came in. And Kepha answered and said unto, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. So she was asked. She was asked. So she had to cooperate with the lie. She had to turn around and say, yeah. So she agreed. Verse 9. Then Kepha said unto her, how is it that you have agreed together to tempt the spirit of YAH? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and shall carry you out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet and yielded up the ghost. And the young man came in and found her dead, and carried her forth, and buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the assembly and upon as many as heard these things. So this is what happens. As we are getting closer to the Most High, closer to Mashiach, there's less room for our error. There's less room for our mistakes. Y'all not going to put up with everything. He said, how much worse is it for you to awaken yourself and come to the truth, become awakened, and then turn back? That's even worse. You'd be better that you never known at all. Let's go to 1 Shemuel chapter 2. We're going to read another story. And this is one of the high priests. His whole line getting cut off, where they will never have an elder in their household. So you see some families where you see, they have boys, they have all men, and men grow up in a family, but all of them die in their young age, just old enough to have kids, to keep having kids, but they die. None of them become elders. That could literally be of the house of Levi, the house of Eli. It could literally be that family because this says forever. So we want to be careful, man. We don't want to do anything that's like our bloodline, our seed, our house is going to be cursed forever. And then this is talking about one of the branches of the high priest, the sons of Aaron. So that's two of them that got cut off. This is the second one. All right, so let's go to First Samuel chapter 2. And we're going to start that at verse 1. Let's see. Let's start this at verse 12. First Samuel chapter 2 and start this at verse 12. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not Yahweh. So they're like the sons of the devil, basically, devilish. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came while the flesh was in seething with a flesh hook of three teeth in his hand. And he stuck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of you, but raw. So these sons are actually taking the raw meat from the sacrifice before it's even seethed, before it's even cooked. They want it raw, just like how we try to follow the heathen, talking about, yeah, let me get my steak medium rare and all that type of stuff. Nah, well done, cooked. They asked me, how do you want your steak cooked? Well done. So this is what they doing with the sacrifice. Verse 16, they want it raw. And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as the soul desires, then he would answer him, nay, but you shall give it to me now, and if not, I will take it by force. So not only are they demanding, they say they're going to take it by force. They're going to make you give them raw meat. These the priest's sons. So how you think this make people feel about the sacrifice when I'm sacrificing the YAH for my sin offerings and I'm trying to make a burnt offerings to YAH, and here come the sons of the high priest eating raw meat with your sacrifice? It's like you involved in it. Verse 18. Verse 17, wherefore the sin of the young man was very great before Yahweh, for the men abhorred the offering of YAH. But Samuel insisted before Yahweh, being a child girded with a linen ephod, ministered before YAH. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came up with her husband to offer yearly. All right, so skip down. Let's go to verse 22. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all the Yasharah, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So not only are they eating raw meat, they sleeping with the women while the priests inside learning and doing stuff. They at the door where the women are sleeping with the women. Verse 23. And he said to them, why do you such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all these people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. You make Yah's people to transgress. That's not how you talk. When they doing wicked stuff like that, it need to be a little more stern. That's oh, no, don't do that. I guarantee he wasn't dealing with other people like that. Verse 25. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against Yahweh, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because Yah would slay them. And the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yahweh and also with men. And there came a man of Yah unto Eli and said unto him, thus says Yahweh, did I plainly appear unto your house of your father when they were in Mizraim in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Yasharal to be my priest, to offer upon my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of your father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Yasharal? Wherefore kick you at my sacrifice and at my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Yasharal, my people. Wherefore, Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal says, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father should walk before me forever. But Yah don't lie. So he said, you're going to be here forever. That don't mean you're going to live into your old age. But now Yahweh says, be it far from me. For them that honor me, I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come that I will cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, and there shall not be an old man in your house. Wow. You will never have a zaken, an elder in your house. That's a hell of a curse. And you shall see an enemy in my habitation, and all the wealth which Yahweh shall give Yasharal, and there shall not be an old man in your house forever. And the man of yours, whom I shall not cut off from my altar, shall be to consume your eyes and to grieve your heart. And all the increase of your house shall die in the flower of their age. So they're going to be foolish men, a foolish house, getting gunned down, killed in the street, suffering, poor, broke, addicted. Verse 34, and this shall be a sign unto you that shall come upon your two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. Oof, we can stop there. So Eli, a high priest, a branch of the high priest, a righteous man, did not chasten his son, refused to chasten his son. And because of that, his whole eldership is cut off. Not only his, but everybody beyond him was cut off. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Joshua chapter 7. We need to see as men how important it is, our decisions, how they affect your entire house, and in his case, an entire bloodline. So we're at Yahshua or Yahushua chapter 7 and verse 1. We're going to start at verse 1, and then we have one more for the conclusion. Joshua chapter 7 and verse 1. But the children of Yasharal committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, took of the cursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Yasharal. Remember how we were talking earlier about how the things you do not only affects your house, but affects the house of Judah, affects the 12 tribes, affects the whole nation. Well, Yah is upset with the children of Yasharal because of what one man did out of one tribe. Consider that. Verse 2. And Yahushua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven, on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Yahshua and said unto them, let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor there, for there are but a few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even to Shebarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And Yahshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the eventide, he and the elders of Yasharal, and put dust upon their heads. And Yahshua said, Alas, O Adonai Elohim, wherefore has you at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to Elohim we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. O Adonai, what shall I say when Yasharal turned their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear it and shall environ us round and cut off our name from the earth. And what will you do unto your great name? And Yahweh said unto Yahshua, Get you up, wherefore you lie upon your face. Yasharal have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. So Yah is saying, get up. You think I sent you here to go get mopped up? I told you to go in and take these lands. You lost because your people are sinning. You're transgressing. That's why. Verse 13. Verse 12. Therefore the children of Yasharal could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the curse from among you. So he's saying destroy the accursed, not the accursed thing. Destroy the accursed. So the accursed would be the gentleman that took of the accursed thing, took the Babylonian garment. We're about to find out the Babylonian garment. So he took of the heathen, envying the heathen, and took their stuff and tried to bring it amongst holiness, amongst the children of Israel, and caused men to get murdered. Not him, he's still alive, but he caused other people to get murdered. Verse 13, up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus says Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal, there's an accursed thing in the midst of you, O Yasharal. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. And that is how we are. We cannot stand against our enemies. We might win a battle, but we're not going to win this war unless we remove these accursed things from amongst us. And that's internally, men. That pride, that envy, that hatred, the uncleanness, the lack of discipline, the coveting, wanting the things of the heathen, but want to be set apart. But then yet you want to secretly want these things that the heathen have. Nah, we won't be able to stand against our enemies. We might be able to stand, but eventually the enemy gonna come and we won't be able to stand. Verse 14, in the morning, therefore, you shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which Yahweh taken shall come according to the families. And the family which Yahweh shall take shall come by households. And the household which Yahweh shall take shall come man by man. So they reconciling every tribe, every house, man by man. Notice who they going to. Man by man. They're not lining up the women. Heads of households, men of households, man by man. Verse 15, and it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Yahweh, and because he has wrought folly and Yasharal. So notice what the judgment is. He is going to be burnt by fire and all that he has. So what does he have? Just his goods? No, men, you have your family. That is your possession. Your family. That's why you're the king. You have dominion over your kingdom, your house. Verse 16. So Yahshua rose up early in the morning and brought Yasharal by the tribes, and the tribe of Yehuda was taken. And he brought the family of Yehuda and took the family of the Zarhites. And he brought the family of the Zarhites, man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought the household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehudah, was taken. And Yahshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray you, glory to Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what you have done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Yahshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against Yahweh Elohim of Yasharal, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment and 200 shekels of silver. So look at this Babylon, confusion. Babylon means confusion. Your garment is your covering. So I took this covering of confusion. I took this evil demonic spirit, this pagan way, idolatry. I took it, and 200 shekels of silver and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight. Then I coveted them, and I took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Yahshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in the tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought it unto Yahshua, and unto all the children of Yasharal, and laid them out before Yahweh. And Joshua and all Yasharal with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughter. What the son and daughter got to do with this? These is innocent children. And his oxen, and his donkeys. What the donkey did? What Shrek? What he did? And his sheep. They took Mary little lamb too, and his tent. They took the brother house and all that he had, and brought them to the valley of Achor. And Yahshua said, why has you troubled us? Yahweh shall trouble you this day. And all Yasharal stoned them with stones and burned them with fire. And they had stoned them with stones. And they say, well, why are they grabbing the children? Why are they grabbing the daughters? Because what you think you're going to do if your father was stoned to death and you got to be amongst these people that stoned him to death? You're going to have a chip on your shoulder. So the kids, the family, the house, the animals, everything died because of him coveting, him going after pagan garments and gold and silver that's got by ill gain. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahweh turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day. So again, we have to, as men, as heads of households, think beyond our current situation. Think beyond how we feel. Think beyond what's affecting us. We have to think for our households, because it might not just be your household, it might be your kids and their kids, like in Eli's situation. So let's go to the conclusion. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. So we should take this as zahar, as admonishment, as warnings. When they talk about, I will make you a proverb and a byword. Well, these are the proverbs and bywords right here. Don't do this, because if you do this, you'll get that. That's us. Proverbs. But we're supposed to be on the good side of the proverb. The first 16 verses of Deuteronomy 28. We're supposed to be on that side, the side of blessings. If you do this, you get that. That's where we're supposed to be. First Kepha chapter 3. And we're going to read 1 through 12. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Notice it says to your own husbands. A wife don't got to be in subjection to every man that walk around. She got one Adon, one Adon, her husband. And if not her husband, her father. If not her father, then the priest. Likewise, you husband, Mashiach, likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may be without the word, be won by the conversation of the wise. That don't mean the wife supposed to be over there talking all in his ear, trying to get him to act right. Nah, the conversation here in Greek is talking about behavior. They supposed to look at how the wives carry themselves. They carry themselves like in holiness. They not all in people's face. They doing the right thing. They taking care of their responsibility like royalty. And then the man supposed to look and say, man, how can I get a woman like that? Obviously, I ain't gonna get it acting like this. Or they supposed to be embarrassed acting a fool coming around our women. That's where we're supposed to be. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 2, while they behold your chaste behavior coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that of outward adorning, of plaiting of the hair and wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel. So let him not be impressed because you just so stunning looking. You just have so much nice jewelry. You look just so royal. Yeah, that's part of it. But let that not be the only reason they even paying attention to you. But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. So our women are supposed to have a meek and quiet spirit, and they are supposed to look royal. And when they see that, a man is supposed to say, I can't be coming around acting a fool, just like nobody go around the priests or the elders and act stupid. Verse 5. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yah adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him master, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. So husbands, this is the type of wife you're supposed to have. Men of Yah, you're supposed to have a woman like this, a holy woman. And a holy woman like that is not going to get with you and stay with you if you destroying your house. Women are nesters. They like to nest their house. They're not trying to be with a man that's destroying his house, whether physically or spiritually or emotionally, however. And you destroying the people in your house, that's destroying your house as well. Verse 5. Verse 7. Likewise, husbands, dwell. And see, notice it said likewise. So husband, that means you as well. You should be meek and of a quiet spirit as well, husband. You ain't supposed to be loud all in the street, acting a fool. Have some temperament, have some restraint. Carry yourself like royalty. You don't see the king when he come in, hey, the king is here, I'm here. No, they blow trumpets and they announce him coming in. He ain't got to be a fool. So husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, not according to your emotion, not according to what's going to be favorable to you, not according to what's going to make your wife happy. No, it says dwell with them according to knowledge. And if you have a woman like the one we described in 1 Peter 1 through 5, these women are going to be happy with a husband full of knowledge, because even if she don't agree, when the Holy Spirit comes to her and you're on point, she's going to be happy that you disagreed with her. And if she's right and you're wrong, she's going to be able to talk to you in a manner that you'll understand and be patient with you as a man, knowing that you're just but a human being as well. So verse 7, likewise, you husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. You have to honor your wife. You can't treat her like crap. You can't talk to her and call her names and break down her self-esteem and do all those type of things and think that your house just going to stand firm. No, your house going to start crumbling. Trust me. So have honor unto your wife as unto the weaker vessel. When something is delicate, you protect it. You don't throw it away. Oh, here, look at this delicate diamond. Let me just throw it away. Or look at this delicate rose flowers. I don't want it. Throw it away. No, you protect it. Your heart is delicate. That's why it has a rib cage. Your brain is delicate. That's why it has the skull. It has a covering. Your wife is delicate. That's why Yah gave her a covering. A father. And then after the father, he gave her a wife, a husband. As unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life. This is your joint heir to the kingdom. So again, and as being heirs together as the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So if your prayers are not being received, you are left out here to the adversary, the devil. You have to have a strong prayer game. And if you're not dealing in your household with knowledge and wisdom of the Most High, He's not hearing you because your prayers are abomination. You don't even know what to pray for. Verse 8, finally be you all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that you are thereunto called that you should inherit a blessing. So men, you can't be rendering evil for evil in your house or outside of your house. Definitely not with your family. You can't be railing because your family railing. But contrariwise, you got to bless them. Your family, your house is giving evil to you or railing against you. Bless them. That don't mean you allow them to do the wickedness, but you bless them. You continue doing what you're supposed to do. You can't just throw them away. Knowing that you are therefore called that you should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil. And that's destroying our house, our mouths, speaking evil of one another, speaking evil to one another. And his lips that they should speak no guile. Let him hate evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. So peace, you can't just say, oh, it's peaceful here, just stay here. You got to seek it. You got to ensue it. You got to work on it. It ain't just going to be there. The devil, we're not in heaven. We in captivity. For the eyes of Yah are over the righteous, and his ear are open unto their prayers. But the face of Yah is against them that do evil. So that's the quickest way to destroy your house. Go do evil, whether it's in your house or outside your house. Your house will not stand because Yah's word does not lie. So again, it ain't go build up a big fence around your house. Go get an excellent alarm system. Go study martial arts. Go buy all the weapons you can get. That's not going to protect your house. That'll help. No, man, you got to check yourselves. You got to deal with your actions. Everything starts with you, men, husbands, fathers. Everything starts with you. You should be going through all your checklists of what you need to do, what you didn't do, and what has to be done before you even get to your wife or to your children or to your guests that are staying in your house. It starts with you. So that's all we're going to do today. Yah's will, next week we'll do the Akoti version of destroying your house. So sisters, how we can support the house and how we can keep it intact and serve as an extra barrier for your husband when your husband is in foolishness, because we all men, we all subject to losing the spirit. So we'll go over that next week. So if we don't have any questions or comments, we'll go ahead and close out. Again, we are Savior Word of Yah. If you've gained anything from our classes or our studies or our materials and would like to donate to this movement to help further this nationalistic movement, you can reach out to us on our website at saviorwordofyah.org and hit the donate button, or you can donate to our Cash App account, which is # Savior Word. excuse me, money sign sword, money sign sword. That's $ SWORD if you'd like to donate to our cause. So if not, Yah's will, we will see y'all for Shabbat. Elder Zahar, our Elder Moray, elder teacher, he will be presenting. And Yah's will, we will see you all for the Shabbat. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at saveyourwordatl@gmail.com. So Yah's will, we'll see you then. Shalom.